What's happening, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new edition of Snaps. Well, I'll be damned, Aaron. I'm looking around here for a date. It's August 30th. Before I even looked up, we're almost into September, which means we're almost into week one of college football, and we're going to break it all down for you today. I'm so excited. I'm still recovering from last night's Throner. I finally got to watch episode 2 of Game of Dragons, House of Dragon. Now, absolutely fantastic, as is what we're going to be able to watch this weekend, man. The week one lineup is sexy as hell, but look, we can't go full bore here. Day one here. Okay. So we're going to ease into it. We're going to start our week one preview throughout the next couple of days. We got a lot for you today. Okay. We got a deep dive on Notre Dame, Ohio State. What does that 17.5 number mean? Is Notre Dame overrated? Is Ohio State just that good? We'll debate it. Brian Kelly in Oregon, your boy, Dan Lanning, Aaron, playing a little cute with their quarterback positions. I mean, what does that mean? Is it too much? Like, do they need to relax? Or is it a true tactical advantage? Speaking of week one, look, shout out FanDuel. They help us put on this show, right? We got some dogs for you. That's right. Some money line dogs coming up. And then, because honestly, it's that time of year, and before the season starts, you might as well do this one more time. Let's give you some SEC power rankings. Trust me when I say you will find Aaron Murray's list shocking. I have been privy to it, and it is out there. Shout out to the Volume for having us on here. Like and subscribe, rate and review the pod. Aaron Murray, what's up, man? How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm with you. Finally got to watch last night the House of Dragons episode 2.
Oh, yeah,
I
dude.
am a
It was dope.
believer. I'm a huge fan. I still don't know the names though, so don't ask me any questions about characters because
Yeah.
I couldn't give you an answer on that. It's going to take about 3 or 4 episodes to get that going. But like T Bob said, the great thing about this week in week 1 and week 0, especially week 1 though, is there's no NFL. So for me, there's no interruption. There's no stupid preseason game that's going to get in the way
Yeah.
of me watching college football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We got 5 days of college football starting, and I think there's great games every single night. So this is really,
Yeah.
if you are a fan of the collegiate game over the NFL game, this is your opportunity to sit back for 5 straight days and enjoy yourself, get some cold ones, make sure you get the chores done in the next couple of days to get everything ready to go. And I'm pumped, man. And like you said, we had some predictions, so it's starting to feel real.
It is starting to feel real. Shout out to the Volume, because without this job, I'm not sure that I could have gotten my wife to agree to the 6-month deal that I basically struck with her, which is I'm like, look, man, I mean, babe, look, I'm on a national show now, right? Like, I got responsibilities. Like, I have to watch more than I have in the past. Like, I have to be locked into
Mhm.
every single game Saturday. So I'm sorry, I can't help with the kids, can't help around the house. I'm just doing my job, okay? I'm out here working. I'm grinding for this family, okay? I have to watch West Virginia, Pittsburgh. Actually, she's a West Virginia family, so I'm pretty excited for that game. But the point is, it's like Brum said, in Game of Thrones, sometimes the foreplay is better than the sex. In college football, it's all about the actual act, okay? And I'm sick of the foreplay. Okay, you got me
Oh,
fully turned on. I'm ready to dive in, and it's going to start this Saturday. And what a week one slate we have, Aaron. And the big boy is Notre Dame at Ohio State, a top 5 matchup in week one. One of my favorite types of games. In fact, one that I played in. I played in LSU, Oregon back in 2011. One of the coolest environments I've ever been a part of. But the shocking part about this game, unlike that one, is this is the top 5 game with a 17.5 point spread. Marcus Freeman was even surprised by that number when he was told about it in his
mhm.
press conference. Aaron, I will ask you our base question. Is that spread more on Ohio State being that good, or are we looking at an overrated Notre Dame team?
I don't think we're looking at an overrated Notre Dame team. I think this is a Notre Dame team, year 2, Marcus Freeman. that is going to be, I would say they're a top 10 team in America. Are they a playoff team? I don't think so, but they're a top 10, top 15 team. I think they're a 9-10 win team. I think they lose, obviously, this weekend to Ohio State. I think USC by the end of the season could get things rolling. You could see them dropping that one and possibly another one along the way. But overall, it's a good defense. The majority of the starters back on that side of the football. Marcus Freeman, I think the one thing that we all saw, like when he was announced as, hey, I'm the starting, or not starting, the head coach here at Notre Dame, the players automatically were like, hell yeah, man. Like, this is my coach. This is my guy. And you knew that moment, like they were going to buy into everything that he was going to preach, and the way they practiced, the way they went through meetings, and obviously the way they prepared for a game on Saturdays, they were going to buy in. And that's the number one thing of any new head coach. Can I get that immediate impact? And I've been around him. I covered games with when he was defensive coordinator back at Cincinnati. He is a true players coach. Guys respect him. Guys love him. Guys are willing to put that extra effort in there. So you're going to see a Notre Dame team come out there hungry, determined, that underdog mentality. So it's nothing against Notre Dame not being a very, very good football team. I think this goes to the fact that right now, as we head into this season, there are two teams that are just better than everyone else. That's Ohio State and that's Alabama.
Imagine that.
They're on a different, yeah, seriously, imagine. Wow, shocker of the day. Let's make sure we cut this clip for social media for later. Uh, they're just
You're
better.
right.
They are on a different level with CJ Stroud and Henderson and Jigba. The offense is going to score, and they're going to score a lot of points. I think what they're doing on the defense side of the football, they will be better, Ohio State, on that side than they were a year ago. I see this game right now. If you're like, oh, give me a score prediction, I would say like 40-17. It's not embarrassing, but it covers the spread.
That's pretty embarrassing, dude. 40-17 would be pretty embarrassing. And look, but I think we're in agreement here. I think that this is more on Ohio State being good. And I think you're going to recognize as we sit here on the edge of another season, right? And you try to predict and you try to use predictive measures. What you're going to see in a lot of my commentary is there is an underlying theme, and it simply comes down to quarterback. So 2 years ago, Aaron, I watched Queen's Gambit. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with chess, right? Play all the time, play daily, just absolutely love it. Still garbage, but climbing. In chess, you learn, look, the pawns are worth 1. Your minor pieces, your bishops and your knights, are worth 3 points. Your rooks are worth 5. The queen is worth 10. It mirrors football so well in terms of linemen, receivers, running backs, and then, of course, the queen, the quarterback. Nobody has a bigger impact on the spread. Nobody has a bigger impact on the games. And that is why you have that 17.5 number. I think you could really boil it down to CJ Stroud versus Tyler Buckner. Now, what I like here if I'm a Notre Dame fan, and I want to be clear, okay, I'm not Catholic, but I'm rocking with him, okay? I'm putting on my papal hat for this game, and I'm doing the plus 17.5. And the reason being, and we'll get into Ohio State, because when you do, you see why they're favored like this. Because, I mean, CJ Stroud was already unbelievable, and now he probably has the best wide receiver in the entire country, maybe the best running back in the entire country. But the reason why Notre Dame could be a bit undervalued here is Buckner. He's just not proven. We know he can run. He's a dual threat guy from high school. We just don't know if he can throw it consistently on this level of football. I love the fact that OC Tommy Rees stuck around when Brian Kelly went to Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly really wanted to bring Rees with him. He said not so fast. Hey, how about this, Aaron? Have you ever, I just came across this today, have you ever seen Tyler Buckner's high school stats from his junior year of high school?
No, I'm guessing pretty stupid.
Okay, dude. Oh, I mean, like we're all used to stupid high school stats, and this is beyond the pale. So he didn't play his senior year because of COVID, but he had 4,474 yards and 58 touchdowns through the air alone. He had another 1,600 yards and 28 touchdowns on the ground. He had a total of 6,000 yards and 81 touchdowns as a junior. And I get it. It's high school, man. But in terms of potential, that's a cat with a huge, physically talented, high ceiling. You combine that with a great defense where you got All-Americans all over the place, a truly excellent offensive line. You know I love this. Jack Patterson, I believe in his name, Jarrett Patterson, excuse me, their center has not allowed a single sack in over 1,300 pass blocking snaps. So there's a lot to like for this Notre Dame team. It's just
Yeah.
that Buckner doesn't really hold up against CJ Stroud.
Once again, it's nothing against Notre Dame not being a good football team. It's just Ohio State being on a different level. And then, why wasn't Ohio State in the playoffs last year? Is because of the defense. They went out there, Ryan Day, they got Jim Knowles. They bring him in to improve a defense that returns the majority of their starters from last year. So I guarantee you, with Knowles on that staff, the defense is going to be better. So now all of a sudden, we're talking about a defense that is going to improve for Ohio State. You're talking about a Notre Dame offense that we're not 100% sold on the quarterback just yet. We haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that faith that he can go out there and do what he needs to do to compete with an offense like Ohio State. And then we look at the other side of the football and we look at the way college football is right now and what is dominating and take away last year's Georgia team. And I'll say this as a Georgia guy with the helmet right behind me. If Alabama's receivers did not get hurt in that national championship game, I don't know what the outcome would have been. I
Okay,
don't.
good. I don't. Okay,
It
yeah.
could have been.
Just leave the
It
door
could have been a
open.
lot.
Don't go
It could
full
have been a
Bama.
lot different. No, I'm not going to go full Bama. I'm saying I don't know what could have happened. It would have been a lot closer. Would Georgia have won? Maybe, but I guarantee you Alabama would have scored more points. This is still a game in 2022. You got to score to win. And offenses still have the upper hand going against defenses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the team that has the elite offense against a team that has an offense with question marks and an offense that has a question mark at the biggest position, like you alluded to, the queen. So
Yeah.
give me the 17 and a half points. I think Notre Dame comes out fighting. I think they come out with energy. They want to support their new head coach. That all sounds great. But at the end of the day, talent wins football games. Players win. It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And Ohio State has some of the best Jimmies and Joes in the country. And CJ Stroud right now, to me, is the Heisman favorite heading into the season. Give me Ohio State with the 17 and a half points.
Well, and if we wanted to continue with this chess analogy, right? If the quarterback's the queen, you can make an argument in today's college football, the second most valuable piece, at least offensively, would be that of wide receiver, right? You just mentioned the impact that had on last year's Natty game. And unfortunately for Notre Dame, even though there's that gap between Stroud and Buckner, there is not a bigger gap than anywhere on the field than between the Ohio State receiving core and the Notre Dame receiving core. I mean, Notre Dame's lack of receiving talent is probably the single biggest weakness that they have. Now they have a great tight end in Michael Myers, and I'll get there in a second. But when you hold up that no-name receiving core of Notre Dame against Jackson Smith and Jigba, highest rated wide receiver in the country last year according to PFF, 123 yards a game, 10 more yards at Jordan Addison per game last year. And then you have a true freshman running back in Trevion Henderson that went for 1255 and 15 touchdowns. Like, it's just, I mean, offensively right now, Ohio State's cup overfloweth. I mean, let's revisit CJ Stroud's stat line. And I almost hate doing this because the more you say it, the less impact it ends up having. But actually, let's just look at one thing. Yeah, he had the 70%. He had 4,400 yards. The touchdown interception ratio is absurd at 44-6. But the 10.1 yards per attempt is just silly. I mean, that should be borderline impossible to achieve. What that means, if you've never really thought about yards per attempt, is that every time, on average, when he drops back to throw, the team gains 10 yards. Not if he completes it or not. Yet on average, they gain 10 yards. And so it's this incredible single number that gives you an overall view of the efficiency of the quarterback. And nobody was more efficient or dangerous than CJ Stroud. And that's with kind of struggling in the first 4 games, at least struggling relative to where he ended up. So now he has a full offseason under his belt. And yes, dude, Ohio State just feels overwhelming. They've a tackle, DeJuan Jones. He's a literal giant. Like, if you were a 500 BC Middle Eastern man, you would think this guy was Goliath. 6'8", 360. He's got a 7'5" wingspan. Aaron, 7'5". He was somehow only a 3-star out of high school, but now he's one of the best tackles in the entire country.
And let's not forget too, T-Bob, the game is in Ohio. early in the
Yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah. Great
Teams are
point.
getting things figured out. It's going to be I mean, it's going to be loud. It's the game of the week. This is something, it's the first game. People are clamoring for football. They're excited. It's going to be, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be an incredible environment. Going back to Buckner, big road environment. Is he ready to take that on in week
Yeah.
one? As we know, there's always hiccups in the first game. There's always things that you're working out. It's always better to be home than going into a place that's going to be that hostile. So give me, on that alone, give me 3 to 5 points right there for just a home field advantage. So all of a sudden now we're just talking about them scoring 2 touchdowns to at least cover the spread. So I think couple better offense, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, most likely a guy that's going to be in New York, home field advantage early on the season, first game, loud environment, young quarterback on the other side, new head coach. I don't know
New
what
head
more I need to
coach.
give you,
Yeah.
T Bob. Like just don't lose your
Yeah.
damn
I
money. Don't lose your money.
no, no, no,
And I
no,
am
no, no,
Catholic, and
no,
I
no,
am
no.
Catholic, and I am
You
Catholic, and
are.
I ain't gonna put the leprechaun on. No, no, no. We're going to
Wow.
Ohio State all
Dude,
day.
I'm gonna tell the Pope about this, Aaron. You
Don't tell
might
my
be getting a
grandpa.
call from Francis. Is that it doesn't matter. Okay, I will say this though. I will say this is that if Notre Dame does have the advantage in one department, it is a tight end. And they got Michael Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by the way, if I'm a Notre Dame student, I'm buying a Michael Myers jersey ASAP. Like I would have bought it yesterday. You pair that with the actual jersey in the stands, everybody's gonna get a laugh. You're guaranteed to end up on the television. You can do all kind of great little like poses. I don't guess you can bring a fake knife into the stadium, but you get the point. Side note: Michael Myers of Halloween fame, like the actual killer himself, major tight end vibes. Just a great body for tight end,
Mm-hmm.
underrated speed, the strength to be a dominant run blocker in the same way that his Notre Dame counterpart is. So I feel you. Look, Vegas knows, okay? The Oracle's out west. They change all this money. They get it. There's a reason it's 17 and a half. That said, I got a feeling. And it's a feeling that Tommy Rees may be able to get way more out of Buckner here in year number 2. I love a guy that had to miss that senior year of high school and so then had to come to college after taking a year off, which is tough to do. Like there's potential for some real undervaluing there. There's some potential that last year wasn't fully representative of what he could have been if he had been able to play his senior year of high school. And what does he do now with another year of seasoning? So we'll see. Plus, I'm just greedy. Like 17 and a half points is a
It's a
lot
lot of
to
points.
give me. I mean, it's just a
Yep.
lot to give me, dude. And I know, and I get it. All you gamblers are there like, T-Bob, that's like the sucker mentality. Okay, I don't give a damn. Okay, I don't. I think I'm riding with the Irish. Okay. Any final words on this game beyond being very excited to check it out, Aaron?
Well, once again, it's crazy to me, 2 versus 5, and it's 17.5 points. But this is the state of college football that we're in right now, and then this is why people are upset with where the game is. There's no reason why a 2 versus 5 matchup should have this sort of spread. But it's a league that we can essentially pick the 4 or 5 teams right now today that are probably going to be in the playoffs, and two of them are going to be Alabama and Ohio State, and most likely those two will be fighting each other to win a national championship. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. And once again, this is nothing against Notre Dame. I still see this team having a lot of success this year. It's just you're
Yeah.
facing a team that's going to be in the national championship.
Yeah, like I agree. I think Notre Dame's a definite top 10 team. It's just
Yep.
Ohio State's different, man. But you know what the problem is? I mean, they already announced their starting quarterbacks. What the hell are they doing, dude? What is Ryan Day doing? Doesn't he know he is leaving a clear
Mm.
tactical advantage on the field? I mean, maybe Freeman's a rookie head coach. Okay. Maybe he needs to call up the old boss, Brian Kelly. Call up Dan Lanning, let him know. Because Oregon and LSU specifically here have chosen not to announce who their starting quarterback will be. Brian Kelly was very upfront about this. He straight up said in his press conference yesterday, look, man, FSU got to play a game against Duquesne. That's a tactical advantage. Us not naming a quarterback is a tactical advantage. And it's a bit odd, though, to me, because if you don't know, LSU has two quarterbacks currently competing for the job. It's the senior in Jaden Daniels, who has started 30 games at Arizona State. He has done more damage with his legs than his arm traditionally, but he does throw the ball well. He's just kind of he struggled to recapture all the potential he showed freshman year. You also have Garrett Nussmeyer, who's a bit of a younger unknown. I believe a true sophomore now. Nuss has a gunslinger sort of mentality. He is athletic, but he would definitely be more of a throw first guy. So you're like, okay, those are two different skill sets. That's why he's doing this. But then you run into some later comments in the presser, and it kind of sounds like Brian Kelly's talking out of both sides of his mouth a little bit. Because on one hand, he says we don't want to reveal anything because they don't have anything to game plan for. But on the other, he's trying to say, well, the offense doesn't change really. Like, that's all overblown. It's not like just because this guy's in, we're going to run, or this guy's in, we're going to pass. Aaron, I ask you, is this all bullshit? Or is there an actual tactical advantage to be gained by holding off announcing your QB?
I think game one, it's. I think overall for most teams, it's. I don't think it really helps you that much. It really doesn't. I think in a situation like LSU, it does help you a little bit because I disagree with Brian Kelly. These are two quarterbacks that are very different, and I think that's why that we've seen such a prolonged competition between both of them. You know, Jaden is a runner, and he has improved his throwing through fall camp. Obviously, a lot better than what we saw and what was seen there in spring. Garrett is the
Goes back.
gunslinger. Garrett's the guy that gets back there, doesn't really care, has that mentality that I'm going to make every single pass. I'm just going to let it rip. Is athletic enough to get out and run a little bit, but obviously not to the extent of Jaden. So I think you would be silly as a coach to go in with similar game plans because you would essentially be saying Garrett go out there and run the zone read, or Jaden go out there run the zone read, or hey, we're not going to have Jaden run the zone read because we want this offense to be like this. Like you have to tailor your system to who your quarterback is, and they're two once again very different quarterbacks. So I think from this standpoint, I do agree with Coach Kelly in the standpoint of hey, we want to hold things back. We don't want FSU to know that, hey, if Jaden's the quarterback, to maybe be prepared for a little bit more quarterback run. If Garrett's the quarterback, maybe be prepared for a little bit more throwing. So there is an advantage. But I do think overall, when you look at the college landscape of certain teams saying, hey, I'm not going to be giving out a depth chart at all this year, and that's not how we roll, I don't think there is an advantage. I really don't.
I
Just play ball.
look, man.
Just line up and
The
play
thing
ball. If you
is,
got the better players, you'll be fine.
you're right, Aaron. Like, yes, technically, because of the differing skill sets, there is a tactical advantage. I think the more important question is whether or not, like, how big is that advantage? And in my opinion, it is so minuscule, right? This is not the
Mm-mm.
NFL where everybody's so close and every little basic, like, tenth of a percentage point that you can gain actually ends up having like big differences. No, man, this is not the NFL. We're talking about a top. We just talked about a game that is a 17-point spread. There's two top five teams. Okay. Like if you are LSU, you should be better than Florida State, no matter who the starter is. Okay. Go out there and just announce a starter, give them the confidence, and just go beat
What?
that ass.
Well, I'm
And
sure
this is where
the starter is known. I'm not. There's no way in that locker room if I'm
no,
Jaden
he
or
is known.
Garrett that I
That's
don't
fair.
know.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's not like you're keeping a secret from the team. You're just keeping it away from the media and you're keeping it away from Florida State. That's it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
but
is
now all
and
the
it is a big
players gotta
advantage.
deal with questions. All the players gotta deal with
They're,
questions.
they're
The quarterbacks are getting
fine. Stop
texted
treating them
by
like
all
little
their family
kids.
and friends, who's playing, who's playing. I'm not treating them like little kids. Let's look, all I'm saying is, dude, when Les Miles played these games, I said it was bullshit. We made fun of Jim Harbaugh yesterday. I actually like Harbaugh's system a bit better. Actually, we'll get into that. It depends. I like
Whoa,
Harbaugh's system again. If
whoa.
he sticks with a guy, chill out. If he sticks with the game three guy from then on, and I like
It's coming
Kelly
from an
here
offensive
if he
lineman.
sticks with the guy. Where I get a little worried is when you get a bit wishy washy and you start subbing out in the middle of the game. And everything that I'm seeing out of LSU right now reeks of a two quarterback system. And we know what they say about if you have two quarterbacks, right? And in the past, I'm trying to be consistent. Like, this really is all a prime case of why reputation and brand matters, because I've consistently called out coaches for these type of games, but I'm so impressed with Kelly's resume and everything that he's done that I'm kind of willing to give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt. Like, I feel like I'm Jasmine and I'm out here on my deck kind of pining for college football. I've got my midriff top on, and Brian Kelly just rises up into my view in a flying carpet and holds out his hand. He says, T-Bob, do you trust me? I'm going to show you. We can make a whole new two quarterback world. We
A
can make
whole
it
new
work.
world. It's not going to
Yeah, and
work.
I don't know if I'm willing to take that hand yet, man. I'm at war with myself on this one.
Well, and obviously you're an LSU guy and you live there in Baton Rouge, so
Yeah.
you may know this a
Yeah.
little bit better. But to me, based on observation and talking to people, Garrett is the better quarterback. Is he ready
That's
to
what I've
go right
heard.
now? Yes, Garrett's a better, but it's all in the offensive line. Once again, I mean, can the offensive line handle a quarterback that's going to drop back 35, 40 times a game? Or do they need a guy like Jaden to go out there and run? So I think to me, the bigger question mark is if we can find out in the first 2 weeks of the season how good the offensive line is and if they can hold up. And if they
Yeah.
can, what is the best part of LSU's offense right now? It's the receivers. It's Kayshawn,
Yes.
it's Malik, it's Jure, it's Jack Beck. Like they are loaded at the receiving position. What does any
Yeah.
good coach do? You play to the strengths of your players. Fine, and do you trust a quarterback that's more of a runner or a quarterback that actually throws the damn ball to get the ball to your best receivers? Well, obviously the guy that throws it, which is Garrett Nussmeier. But if he doesn't have time to throw it, it doesn't matter. So to me, the experiment and the biggest question is still if you can prove that the big boys up front can hold it for 3 or 4 seconds and can protect the quarterback, then Garrett is going to be the guy long term for the season. If week 1 and week 2 it is a quarterback better run around like a chicken with his head cut off, then Jaden is going to be the guy going forward until you can
Yeah.
build that consistency up front. So that is it's all part of the game. I still don't agree with it. Um, unless there are certain situations like this where your quarterbacks are just so different that it is a huge advantage because right now for Florida State, they are going to have to prepare for zone read. They're going to have to prepare for RPO. They're going to have to prepare for a quarterback that sits in the pocket and throws the ball vertically down the field. Like they got to do all of that because they don't know
Yeah.
who
And
that starting guy is going to be. But I would put if I'm Norvell, I would put my money on Jaden being the focal point in the first game of the season as you figure out the offensive line for LSU.
impressive intelligence from you. And I mean that in like the, like US, like Secret Service intel usage. Impressive intel from you there, Aaron, because here locally and mining my own resources, that the thought is that Nussmeier probably has a ceiling, but right now Daniels has the higher floor. And I think the safer play would be Daniels. And that's why I kind of think they go that direction. Last thing I'll say about LSU and the offensive line, it is my biggest concern on the team, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a Tiger fan, maybe something to feel good about is I actually do feel markedly better about it now than I did entering camp. And I don't want to go too in the weeds here because a lot of y'all don't care, but it is all about the emergence of Garrett Dellinger at center. Mark Cumby in the
Yep.
chat says, T-Bob, is this the future of football with two QBs because of NIL? Look, man, again, I'm not like,
NIL or transfer portal? That's the question.
well, I think that's what he means. That's what he means. I think. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Good call. He means like trying to get guys from transferring, right? I
Yes.
think that I don't want to be naive here, and I think that's an element. But as far as Nuss and Daniels go, I don't really see great transfer potential out of either. Like Nuss is young enough where Daniels will be gone. He knows he's only one play away from playing. Like, okay, Nuss is fine with that. Daniels, how
Just
can he
transferred in.
transfer this late in the game? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. He just
You just
transferred
you
in. Like
just
he can't
you
go
just trans-
anywhere.
this isn't the hardball we talked about yesterday. This isn't the Jim Hardball. And if you missed that, go back and check out that discussion. That's to me a question of is that why Harbaugh's doing this two quarterback system? Is it because he was afraid if he announced a starter a
No,
week
bro, he's
ago
doing
that
it because the
well,
Bible. He told you
yeah, it
yesterday.
is
It's
the Bible. Yeah,
biblical.
my bad. It is biblical. But
Yeah.
my belief is why he's really doing it is because he's afraid one of the guys could possibly pick up and leave before the season starts. Then all of a sudden he's stuck with just one quarterback. So it is
Yeah,
going back
man.
to the question from the chat from Mark Cumby. Yes, I do think it is this an issue nowadays. These coaches have to play the game of keep everyone happy, keep everyone engaged, because if I don't, and I have to freaking babysit these kids, and if I don't, someone's going to get all pouty wowdy and then move on and go somewhere else. It sucks. And this is why I'm
And
talking with your beautiful face and not coaching, because the coaching job nowadays is above and beyond what it should be. It's babysitting. It's making these kids feel like they're the greatest thing
uh,
since sliced bread.
yeah, and that's only going to continue. I think you have to approach the newer generation. I'm not even saying it's like wrong or right, right? I mean, it's been a consistent climb towards this kind of, I mean, hell, the Junction Boys, right? Or whatever, like Bear Bryant back in the day, like if you drink water, you were weak, right? Like we objectively think that
A
that
little
is dumb
extreme.
now. Now, maybe we're going too far in this opposite coddling direction, but like it's just kind of the natural way of things. Mark Cumby saying, where's the Snaps merch? Don't worry, dude. We'll have some Snaps
Ooh,
merch news, I think relatively soon here. I shouldn't say that. I don't know
bro.
how soon, but there are plans. They will be. Oh, there it is, dude.
We had some
Wow, you
volume
really
merch.
are doing your best Les Miles today, Aaron.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
those
Mad
listening
Hatter,
on the
baby.
podcast, he is wearing that volume hat high and odd, just like Les used to back in the day. Okay, Brum says soonish in our producer chat. So look, man, either way, I love that this game's being played Sunday night. LSU, FSU, both brands looking to make a huge statement and be like, "Look, we're back." Now, FSU's obviously been gone way longer, right? But this is both an opportunity for them to say, "We have righted the ship." It's going to be Sunday night, ton of eyeballs, going to be a ton of fun. One of the games, though, that could feature an upset. And this is something that I believe we're going to do weekly here. But shout out FanDuel. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use the promo code SNAPS right now. You bet $5 on a college game. Win or lose, you get $150 in free bets. How about that, folks? So
Mm,
what we're going to do, though, we have deeply analyzed the board, okay? We met with our leading scientists here at the Volume. I talked to Colin Cowherd's pet dog, and what we have figured out is the most likely upsets, the money line picks that you want to be on this week. And Aaron, I'll let you take it away. What's the first dog? Not to cover, but the
yep.
dog that you think is going to win straight up. We're talking money line here.
I think the first dog is right now Florida at +3 against Utah. Florida's a big question mark to me. It's obviously year one for Billy Napier. What is this team going to look like? But the good news is that Florida fans were so ready to move on from Dan Mullen. I mean, they were
Yeah.
ecstatic to move on, and Billy's done a great job of coming in there and hitting the ground hard when it comes to recruiting. That's what they've been wanting. They just want a guy that comes in there, can put a nice fence around the state of Florida, keep those incredible athletes in the state, bring them up there to Gainesville. They got a brand new $85 million facility they just opened up about a week or two ago. There's just a lot of excitement about the program. Now all of a sudden you got a night game in the swamp, one of the toughest environments to play in all of college football. You got a quarterback in Anthony Richardson that could be Cam Newton 2.0. We'll see if he can put the team on his back like that. But there's an energy, there is an excitement. First game, Utah has to travel across the country. They've been practicing indoors, cranking up the heat there to get ready for this game. There's going to be mistakes, and Utah is not a team that makes a lot of mistakes. And Cam Rising, I think, is a very talented quarterback. But week one on the road, going against an SEC opponent in an environment like the Swamp, is to me an opportunity to get an upset. So I think Florida wins this
Yeah.
game right now.
Look, I mean, you could just have said this, Aaron. One team has a game changing coordinator in this matchup, okay? And that's Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. So until Utah catches up and has a staff picture with approximately 2,000 people in it, I don't see how the Utes get it done at all. And also, like you said, the swamp is freaking brutal. Hold on now. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on now. This game's at the swamp, you said?
It's at the Swamp.
So you're telling me Utah is going to go play in this humidity? Like now I'm being real. I'm not even joking around now.
Oh, I know.
Like
That's why I
Utah's
said
going to
they've
melt.
been practicing. They've been practicing indoors, cranking up the heat, trying to get the. It's
They're
going to be
done, dude.
toasty in
They're
the swamp.
done.
Toasty.
Oh my god.
It's going to be like me
Okay.
in my Pilates class
My
this morning, cramping up with my hamstring. Ooh.
God, don't you love a good hot Pilates class though? You feel so like
No, I'm
refreshed
serious.
and
So
kind of detoxified when you leave?
we were doing these hamstring curls, and we are doing it one-legged, and I'm the only guy in
Mm.
the class.
Hmm.
Each
Yep.
hamstring starts cramping up on their respective sides. And the ladies obviously on the microphone, she goes, Aaron, just use two legs. You can't, if you can't do one, you can use both. And
Oh
I see all these like,
no.
buckhead moms who dropped off their kids at school about 30 minutes ago start giggling,
Hard
laughing
bodies.
that
Yeah.
they are hard bodies, that the former, professional athlete can't do a hamstring curl with one leg. But I'm telling you, man, it felt like a
Well, I
damn
mean,
softball, and that hamstring starts cramping
yeah,
up, and
dude,
that's
let's
going to
be
be Utah
clear.
Saturday night.
Pilates is it's not big boy friendly. I mean, I love it. I
Mm-mm.
love it. I can do a full middle split, not to brag, but it's just not big boy
Ooh.
friendly. Oh yeah, maybe one day you play your cards right, Aaron. You fly up on that magic carpet, Brian Kelly style. I might show you a thing or two. My first upset pick of the week, dude. How could it not be? Starting on Thursday. You know what I love in life? I love making moonshine, burning couches. And I hate Pittsburgh. I've always said this. Pat Narduzzi, more like Pat Narpoozy, because he stinks. Or Pat Narsnoozy, because he puts me to sleep. He lost Mark Whipple. He went and he's making Casey Thompson awesome for 2.5 quarters now. Jordan Addison said, peace. Kenny Pickett, gone. Get the hell out of here, man. And I'm rocking with your boy, Aaron, JT Daniels. You know what they say? Third time's a charm. Third school as well. Let's go. W. The backyard brawl is back. Mountaineers, big in Pittsburgh, too. Gonna embarrass them in the Steel City. Please. Industry, steel industry. Who gives a damn? Overrated. We're in the technological age now. Mountaineer smash. Pick number two, Aaron.
I like it. All right, my pick number two, and it's a tough week. And we were doing this beforehand. I think you and I had a lot of the same teams, but my second pick to just be on the
Yeah, we did.
lookout for here is Cincinnati at Arkansas. And I know Cincinnati lost a ton of talent. Obviously, they lost Desmond Ritter, who's been a tremendous quarterback for them. But Luke Fickell, the past 4 years, 44-7. He is building a mini dynasty there at Cincinnati. This has been the one of the most consistent teams, not just in the group of five, but in all of college football. So to me, it's a well coached team. It's a team that is recruited well, that plays hard on both sides of the football. And Arkansas right now needs to find a way to replace Traylon. That's a big question. I think
Yeah.
Arkansas
Yeah.
has an opportunity to be a good team this year. They lost a lot on defense. They lost a lot of leadership on defense. And I like KJ, but KJ, you knew what he was doing last year. It was KJ was going to run, or KJ was going to find Burks one-on-one and throw to him. And that was it. That was the game plan. Can he find a way to take that next step in his development? If he does, Arkansas is going to be a very dangerous football team, but until he proves that, I don't know just yet. So Cincinnati rolling in there, a lot of confidence after last season, making it to the playoffs, well coached team, upset alert for Arkansas.
Dude, how this game's fascinating because this is massive for the group of five, right? Like you cannot have an Arkansas team that is good, but is picked to finish like in the middle of the SEC. You cannot have that team just go beat Cincinnati as a favorite. So, again, yes, I love this as an upset pick. My next one, Purdue plus 3.5 over Penn State. I tried to bury Penn State before the season. You want to talk about finesse? You want to talk about gaming the system? No one took greater advantage of an opening at the LSU head coaching position did then James Franklin. How in the hell, after 2 awful years, do you get like a 14-year extension for $8 million a year or whatever it was that he got? I wanted to bury him on this show last week. You defended Penn State. Well, no more. We made the Boilermaker. We're throwing him in there to Burrow, okay? Call that man a crawfish because he's cooked. Aiden O'Connell and Purdue, they're a sneaky threat to maybe even win the Big Ten West, I believe they're in. The point is, Purdue plus the 3.5 over Penn State. The Nittany Lions are overrated, okay? Overrated. So is James Franklin. Give me Purdue.
I'm with
Oh,
you.
what's this here,
I think.
Aaron?
What do we got? What do we
Wait,
got?
hold on a second. Hold on. I found something here on my page. Oh yeah, there's one more very overrated team playing this weekend.
Uh-oh.
That's the Georgia
Uh-oh.
Bulldogs, okay? Dan Lanning! Who knows Georgia better than Dan Lanning? The man who built the empire, okay? It's exactly like
Oh,
Star
he
Wars,
built the
Rogue
empire.
One.
He built
Yes,
the empire.
yes,
Not Kirby.
yes, Dan
Not
Lanning.
Kirby. It was
No.
Dan Lanning who built the
What's
empire.
a more
Okay.
manly name, Dan or Kirby? Okay, no. Dan Lanning built the
Wow.
empire here, like a
Good
Mads
job,
Mikkelsen in
Dan.
Rogue One. He built a weakness into the exhaust port, and here comes Luke Skywalker with a Nike swoosh on that X-wing, coming to blast him out the sky, dude. Let's go.
All right, well, if you want to go with that, then let's go. Let's play dirty here. Florida State
What?
going into your
Norvell?
state, going into Norvell.
Bruh.
They had the warm up game. They got the kinks worked out. LSU has a new system, new coach, all these transfers. Florida State's going to come into New Orleans. I don't even like this bit.
Look.
I'm not gonna lie until the game. I'm just trying to get at you for going against my dogs, but I sound silly even saying it. So, but be on the lookout for it just in case.
Pat Narsnoozy, and Mike Snorvell can all go hang out, okay? And to be clear, Georgia's going to beat the hell out of Oregon. I'm actually not very high on Oregon at all this year. Let's dive in now to what I would call the cornbread of sports talk, which are some power rankings, okay? Aaron, I'm going to let you go first. Here are Aaron Murray's former Georgia quarterback great. Here are Aaron Murray's SEC East power rankings.
All right. So we're going to go to T-Bob's most overrated team first, and the Georgia Bulldogs going to be one.
Yep.
It's going to be different, but Stetson in that offense, those receivers, the tight end room, which is stacked. Jalen Carter is a beast on the defense side of football. Thought he was, he's going to be a top 5 player, not defensive player, but player in America this year. Georgia will roll. Tennessee with Hendon, that offense back. Obviously got the big news that Brew McCoy was going to be able to play. They are going to be a tough team to slow down offensively. They've built some depth on defense. Second year on the system for both sides of the football. Tennessee could be that third best team in the SEC this year. Don't sleep on the Vols. Kentucky, consistency. Will Levis is a guy that has potential to be a first round, second round quarterback. Can he find that receiver number one? Obviously, lost Wan'Dale Robinson was his go-to guy last year. They got another Robinson from Virginia Tech. Can he be that replacement? I just love Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops is one of my favorite coaches in America. I will always root for Kentucky. South Carolina, winning record last year without a damn quarterback. Mind-blowing to me how you can win football games without a quarterback. They get Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, 75% completion last year. You got a QB. You got someone that everyone can rally around. Year 2 with Shane Beamer. TikTok video galores are going to be happening weekly for South Carolina. I can't wait to see them. Not as good as the volumes TikTok. I'll say that, though. So I like USC at
unbiased.
4. Unbiased. Florida at 5. This is all going to be on, can Anthony Richardson do what Cam Newton did in 2010? Can he be Cam Newton? Put the team on the back. Can he be Superman? He's not as big as Cam, but he's a better thrower than Cam. If you look back at 2010 Auburn, there was nothing on that team besides Cam, especially on offense. They did have a defensive tackle that I will not name, who shall not be named. No. We do not use that name on the show because it hurts my chest every time we talk about Nick Fairley. So can he be Cam Newton?
He killed you too. He killed me as well.
Oh, he killed everyone.
Nick Fairley kicked my ass worse than anybody I've ever played against.
Go put in 2010 Auburn, Georgia, Nick Fairley, Aaron Murray, and just watch what he did to me. Just watch.
Okay, let's go to the internet.
We may have to use that at some point. All right, next. Vanderbilt. Eli, you're on the freaking hot seat, my man. Win some football games. The big question mark, last year they had no freaking receivers. This year they get one of the top, I think the top receiver. Luther's supposed to be a stud. Can he open up this offense a little bit? So I was a little bit torn because I was super impressed with Vanderbilt the other day. I thought Vandy, I was like, holy crap, Mac. But they played Hawaii. So let's not get too crazy. Hawaii is like playing right now a high school team. They lost 52 guys after last offseason. So Vandy, until they can do it against an SEC team, will still always be 7 to me.
Wow. Okay, well, actually, Aaron, I feel better about my Eastern rankings. We are very similar here. I got Georgia 1. I got I got Georgia 1. I got Kentucky 2, Tennessee 3. Okay, so we have our Tennessee and Kentucky's flip there. We both like South Carolina at 4 because of the reason you named. They had a winning record without a quarterback. Then you get Spencer Rattler. I don't care what you think about Rattler. Massive upgrade. I got Florida 5. And then, because Vandy won us some money last week, I'm rocking with Clark Lee.
Hey,
I'm a fan of the Eric Andre show. He looks like Eric Andre. I'm going Vandy 6, Mizzou 7. Let's flip over to the West. I'm going to run through mine real quick here. This
go through it.
is madness, by the way. This conference is stupid. I don't
Wow,
fully
you and I are
understand this
way
how.
off.
We're way different here. You have that's what I'm going to say because
Way
you're hot.
different.
Okay, look, I got Bama.
Yeah.
I got Bama 1. I got A&M 2. Okay, I actually like Haynes King. I think Max Johnson's a good
Mm-mm.
quarterback. Beating him out is a good sign for Haynes King. I love their O-line as well. I got Ole Miss at 3. I'm a believer in Lane Kiffin, man, and I like what they did in the transfer portal. Michigan State, LSU, like they went all in. USC, we'll see if it works out for these teams this year. I got LSU at 4 because I'm a homer. I got Mississippi State at 5 because as much as I like the air raid and Mike Leach, it giveth and it taketh away. They always screw something up and lose a couple games that they shouldn't. I got Arkansas at 6, which feels so disrespectful, but go look at Arkansas' schedule. I don't know why the hell they chose to make it so hard. A&M literally gave themselves one of the easiest out-of-conference schedules in the country. Arkansas did not. And then I've got Auburn at 7 because they are a complete dumpster fire, and I'm not here for any of the Auburn like explaining that's trying to go on right now. Aaron, your West is much, much hotter and much different. Give it to us.
Yeah, I obviously we all know Alabama is going to be one. Mississippi State, I I know we always talk about air raid can't survive in the SEC. More teams run something that is similar to air raid than it is pro style nowadays. So we can't say that it doesn't survive
Yeah.
because most offenses are running 11 personnel, spreading things out, going up tempo, all that good stuff. You know, when you look at Will Rogers and what he's done year 3 in the system, talk about a dark horse to make it to New York for the Heisman. My man could throw
What?
45, 50 touchdowns. This team wins 9 games. He could be there. Graham Harrell stats. Be on the lookout for him. They got the majority of that defense back. I am a big believer in Mississippi State. Plus, they get Texas A&M and Arkansas at home. 2 teams that they're
Okay.
fighting to kind of middle of the pack. A huge advantage for the Cowbells.
Okay.
LSU, my team this year. I'm a big fan of LSU. They got a top coach. They got top talent. Some of the best I think they're probably the best receiving core in the SEC. They got talent on the defensive line. Obviously, they got to figure out the offensive line, and they got some questions at quarterback. I think they got talented quarterbacks, just got to protect. So I think LSU is a dark horse. Love the coaching staff. A&M, I'm not a fan of Haynes King. I think it's a bad sign for A&M that they went with Haynes King because that tells me they
Oh.
don't have talent at receiver, so they have to go with a quarterback that can run. That's what that sign
Oh.
tells me. Yes, they had a great
Oh.
recruiting class. You will see that more next year. I think A&M is a year away from being very, very good and possibly competing to get to Atlanta. Arkansas, it all hinges on KJ. You know, can KJ be a stud? I think he can be if he takes that next step in development. That's a team that can move up this board. I'm somewhat bullish on Auburn. You know, the team is really rallying around Harsin. They're coming together. They got a really good defense. They got 2 of the best backs in the SEC. They're going to be good. They're going to win some games they shouldn't. Still a 7-5 football team. Ole Miss, I'm not buying
Bro.
Ole Miss until I see it. I just don't know about this whole transfer portal thing. And can you build a team through the portal? The West is just too good to think that you could put a team together in 6 months and go out there and compete. You know, the teams at the top are the teams that have a lot of returning starters at key positions. So that's who I'm feeling. Very, very different though. We got to keep that aggressive
Jackson
for the end of the season.
Dart. Was Jackson Dart actually
Mm,
named starter yet? Do we know that? Was he
yes,
named the
I
starter
think so.
for Ole Miss? Jackson who was?
Mm,
Great quarterback name, right? Throwing darts.
mm.
Okay. Wow. Aaron, that West list is something else. And it looks like they have not named a starter according to our producer Ryan Bumley. You know what? I mean, let's not let facts get in the way.
Georgia Dogs going to tuck their tail and finish 3rd in the East this year on the chat.
Yeah,
Hey, what are we talking
yes,
about
let's
here?
go, dude. Yeah, bro. Stetson Bennett sucks. Okay, He was like a 2-star in high school, dude. He's a walk-on. What are you talking
I don't think he
about?
had a star in high school.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. We can't trust that
Only
guy. All right.
quarterback with a natty
Look,
ring, though.
okay, I guess that's fair.
MVP and the
Okay.
national championship.
No, look, I am actually a Stetson stan. Look, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you're here on the YouTube channel in the chat, hit the like button, do all the things, subscribe, hit the bell. Shout out to Papa Kala and the Volume Network. We are so excited to be here. Huge thank you to our producer, Ryan Brumley. Huge thank you to our producer, Aaron Murray. Look, we're here every day, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, talking college football. If you're in the car, subscribe to the pod. You can listen then. Aaron, you have a great day, my friend. Have a great show, and we love you. Mwah. Think about me in a crop top with Brian Kelly, and we'll see you tomorrow on a brand new episode of Snaps